Keepers nervous, strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
Hello, the Nigerian football fans and football fans everywhere. Now, there's a massive update with respect to the World Cup qualifying games coming up against Rwanda on the 21st of March and Zimbabwe on the 25th of March as well. Now, with respect to the Super Eagles squad, Tella of Leverkusen is apparently out due to some muscular injury. And then you have in his place Jordan Torunarigha replacing him. Now, for me, it's unfortunate things like this happen every now and again. And for me, I think Tella, I'm just so sad for the kid because, you know, he was called and invited by Jose Pesero, and then he only played one game, I think, during the friendly games. Then he didn't make the Nations Cup squad. And then Augustin Guavon, the interim coach, invited him, and he had some family issues. He couldn't be part of the squad. And now he's been invited again off the back of his excellent form. You know, so you can see this invitation was well deserved. It wasn't something that, you know, we were looking to compensate him or anything like that. It was actually something well deserved because of his stunning form for Bayer Leverkusen. So I was happy to see him. We're looking forward to see him, you know, play in those games versus Rwanda and Zimbabwe respectively. But unfortunately, he's picked up yet another injury and he'll be on the sidelines, I hope for not too long. Now, the question I have is this. I wonder what your thoughts are on this issue. Yes, we know that players can get injured. Yes, we know you can have a standby list. So if your number one option, maybe a striker gets injured, you take him off, replace him with another striker. You know, if a defender gets injured, you take him off, you replace him on the list with another defender. Let's say, for instance, if anything were to happen to Trus Ekong, hopefully nothing does happen to him, and he needs to be off, maybe you take him off and you bring on an Alessandro Macandeli, for instance, to take his place. Of course, obviously subject to, you know, nationality switches and all that, you know. But why? What's the benefit of having a striker or a forward injured or for some reason unable to make the team? You take him off and you bring in a defender. What's the point? What's the point? Does it make sense to you? For me, it doesn't make any sense to me. The only thing it means that some of the names on the list were not really planned to be on the list. There was no plan for having them. There was no plan with respect to the number of strikers, number of defenders. Because why would you replace, you know, a striker, a forward? Because Tella is more of a wing forward than an actual out-and-out striker, out-and-out number 9. So why would you replace a forward with a defender? Why? I don't get to what's the benefit now. And once again, Jordan Torunarigha, I think he's a nice, decent player, but is he super outstanding? Because that can be the only reason. Maybe you have a super outstanding player in a different that plays in a different position, and then you say, okay, the squad just opens up, a spot on the squad has opened up, so we'll put him there. He's not super fantastic. I wouldn't say he's super fantastic. But that being said, keeping that aside, wouldn't you now be running yourself short in terms of your striker, your striking numbers? I know you have Victor Osimhen, you have your Tolu Arokodare, you know, you have your Victor Boniface. For me, these are the out-and-out strikers that you have on the team. These are the out-and-out strikers you have on the team. And then in terms of your wing forward, support strikers, your Ademola Lookman is one of them. Your Tella would have been one of them, but now he's out injured. So this should have been an opportunity where you go for a Justin Jima, for instance, you know, or a Gift Orban. This would be an opportunity. You get a Gift Orban on or a George Glenn Kenna in the squad, as opposed to what you're doing now. You're basically getting the defender in place of a forward, and you know Jordan Torunarigha isn't really going to play. And I want to say this, if we want to win, if the Nigerian Super Eagles, if the Nigerian Football Federation are really concerned about winning, you wouldn't be using the Nigerian Super Eagles team, you know, as something to help people build up their careers. Now, don't get me wrong, if a player is playing for, let's say, a team in the Czech League and is playing very well, scoring lots of goals, tons of goals, you know, and on the back of the tons of goals he scored, on the back of his excellent form, you can now invite him to the Super Eagles. No problem whatsoever. I have no issues with that. But you don't have someone who is struggling, no one really knows what he's doing, no one really knows how good he is, not on really any particular good form or excellent form, and then you inviting him to take the spot of a striker. I don't get that. Especially when you had tons of replacement. Like I said, the talent pool of Nigeria, I keep saying this, the talent pool of Nigeria is so deep, is so deep. So it's not a situation where probably the strikers you have in the team are the only ones available that you have. So since one is off injured, you maybe just need to get a defender to make up the numbers. No, you actually have options. George Lineker, Chuba Akpom, Gift Orban, Rafael Durushimi. You have all these players and a lot more. Victor Latunji as well, who scored 12 goals this season. So you have the options and you're choosing to go for a defender. This is the same thing that Finidi did, because one thing about me is that, and you always get that on this channel, is I always maintain the energy, same energy. If someone behaves in a particular way, I don't care where you're from, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, I don't care where you're from. If someone does one thing and I criticize that person, I will criticize another person that does the same thing under the same circumstances. Now, under Finidi George, I think Nathan Tella, I think he pulled out as well. I think he pulled out for family. That was when he pulled out for family. That was Eguavon. But under Finidi George, Victor Osimhen, was the one who was injured, and then he brought on a defender. A defender or a midfielder. I think he brought in a midfielder. That was why he brought in Olawinyi. I think he brought in Olawinyi. And to think about it now, that made a bit more sense than this present situation we'll find ourselves in. It made more sense then because he brought in a midfielder, but unfortunately he didn't even use that midfielder. And I could decide Finidi George then because you had opportunities to bring in a striker, a Gift Orban, for instance, in that circumstance, a George Lineker, but you refused. You brought on a midfielder instead. And this time around, the NFF and Eric Chill is involved in this. I don't care if it's a foreign coach. I don't really care. If it's involved in decision making, you have an injured striker, you're replacing him, and you're bringing in a defender, it makes no sense to me, because these two games are games that you need to win. You need to win these games. There's no 4 points isn't a good outcome from these two games. For me, while I don't care whether the Nigerian Super Eagles win by 10 goals or one goal to nil, as long as you get the 3 points, you get the 3 points. But what I don't want to see is, you win one game, 3 points, you draw one, and it seems overly obvious to say you have a football game. In order to win the football match, you need to score goals. And to score goals, you need to have more goal scoring options on both in your starting 11 and from your bench as well. So I wonder what you think about this squad update. What you think about Jordan Torunarigha replacing Nathan Tella? What's your thoughts and opinions on this? So, but I've come to the end of today's video. But before I go, I would like to say keep your eyes peeled on this page, because there'll be multiple uploads coming on, later on today, and I'll see you on yet another video. So stay well, stay blessed.